Welcome to the Red Pill Awareness Needed Conversation for Men podcast. We are back. I am one of your hosts, Herb. I'm here with my brother and the other host,
Jason D.
And just want to do a couple of house cleaning things before we get started. First off, want to apologize for not having a show uploaded in about 2 weeks or so. Just been some scheduling things between me and Jay, and we'll get that resolved as we go. We'll try and get. The goal is to try and get a show up at least once a week. Sometimes we'll have more, sometimes we'll have less, but we'll definitely put forth the effort to make sure that we go without, try not to go this long without a show. So for those that's listening and supporting us, we apologize, and we're definitely going to do what we got to do. Again, it's just been some scheduling stuff, and we'll get through it. The second thing I want to just kind of bring up and address real quick is support the show if you can. For those that are listening, and if you're new, thanks for coming to the show and listening. We appreciate it. For some, you guys know that I post on YouTube. I post the audio on YouTube, but also the show does get posted on other podcasting outlets, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Anchor, a few other outlets. So if you're a podcaster like me, because I'm actually more of a podcaster than I am a YouTuber, then definitely go ahead and subscribe that way, and follow the show that way. And if there's anything in particular, you guys hear us, you want to talk about, or you want to discuss, put in the comments, put in the suggestions for a subject that you want us to touch on in the comments.
Definitely want your feedback on the shows. We want to know how you feel about stuff. It's not a one-sided conversation. We want your input. Even if we feel like your opinions are ridiculous, we still want to hear it. So, yeah, respond.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear it. And, again, if you have suggestions for us you want us to talk about and address, feel free to do so. So with that being said, this episode, we're going to do our very first reactionary audio. This comes from a YouTuber by the name of Jessica J. And she went into a video discussing 5 things that women wish that men knew. I've seen it. Jay have not. And so I'm going to let Jay watch it. And then we're going to come back and discuss it. Now, the way we're going to do it is once I'm done this this intro, me and Jay are going to listen to it. For the sake of time, what I'm going to in turn do is I'm going to edit the show to where the key points of the audio from the video is going to be in the show. And if it's not a long, if it's not a long video, then I'll just let the video play. I'll add it to the audio, to the editing process, and let the video play. If it's a long video, then usually what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and kind of edit the audio, put in the key points. And then once those key points play, then we'll come back and discuss. So without further ado, here is the audio from this video that I found on YouTube discussing 5 things that women wish that men knew. And once that audio play, we'll come back and discuss.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Jessica J, and I was just wondering if you've ever sat and thought to yourself, what is she even thinking? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today I'm going to go over the 5 things that we women secretly wish that all y'all men knew, and how to use them to your advantage to get that girl and get her home. I mean, let's be real for a second. You've probably found yourself out and about in the wide world of women thinking to yourself, what the fuck is she even thinking? Don't lie, you have. Well, don't feel bad, because us women are trained to go out there and put on our best, nicest, most politest face, or even our prudest, I don't have a pussy face. But I promise you, she does. Sometimes we don't want to be too forward, or we don't want to be too open and vocal about what we want because we don't want to be seen as a cunty asshole. Other times when we like you, we don't want to say anything or call attention to it because we don't want you to think that we are a hoe for show. So I'm going to help you navigate all of our social constructs to beat down those construction sites, to beat down her pussy in ways she wants and consents to. Of course. So I already mentioned this, but the first thing we wish guys knew is that the more we like you, the less likely we'll actually be to put out. Like I said, no woman wants to be seen like a hoe. We don't want you to think that we're easy and that we're not worth fighting for. So we'll put up like a cult front, or we'll pretend that like I'm just like not that kind of girl. Like I'm really not. But really, we want you to chase after us. We want you to think that we're worth going after and chasing after and putting effort into. And the more we like you, the more we will resist your penis. I've never seen one before, I swear. Fine, we understand that it's like the Me Too era and things have changed and women are empowered. But really, we just think that you think that wifey doesn't put out or give it up too fast. So we're trying to stay ahead of what you're thinking by thinking that we should act a certain way in order to trap you. So if you find that she's coyly rejecting your advances or constantly saying like, no, I want to take it slow, I'm like not that kind of girl, then just humor her and go with it and understand that she really likes you. And you better not stop trying. Number 2. Us looking at you from across the room is all we've got. So there's actually a lot of memes out there about women being like, hey dude, I looked at you 3 times already. We could have been married and divorced by now. I guess it's over. Again, going back to us women don't want to be seen as the aggressors or the man or your man. We want you to think of us as this like dainty flower that you found in the field and picked yourself. And dainty flowers don't come up and be like, hey bro, I think you're really cute. We just don't do that. If you catch her eye twice, please, for the love of God and all the women out there, just go and talk to her. Because honestly, we'll probably never do it. Number 3, closed off doesn't mean we're not into you. Okay, for as much as people think guys really need advice on talking to women, girls probably need it more. Because us women, we're not trained to talk to studly fellas like yourself when you come out of nowhere and surprise us. There have been plenty of times when I've been approached by a man and I didn't know what to say and just looked something like this. Women get nervous too. Don't you understand that? You're a fucking catch. So her needing a little more time to warm up to you, please don't take it as her never getting hot for you ever. Here's the thing, women experience their emotions so much more than you guys do. And when we are nervous and we really like you, we're gonna feel those emotions so much more than our logical brain telling us, hey girl, just fucking talk to him. You probably go through it too, so you probably understand, right? And sadly, because guys are supposed to be the aggressors, so to speak, or the ones who court women, us ladies usually default to you leading the conversation. And if you look at her seemingly cold front and back away for warmer temperatures, I promise you she's gonna go back to her girlfriends and be like, oh my God, I fucked it up. Because all of us girls do that every now and then. So take the reins, take that girl, break the ice, and get hot. Number 4. Why don't you just talk to us like you talk to your friends? Okay, I hear from guys all the time about how I can talk to a girl, no problem, or I can start a conversation, no problem. But when it comes to like really hot girls, exactly. The same thing happens with you guys. Instead of getting into your emotions, you get into your head and think, oh my God, does she like me? Oh my God, am I funny? But you're not like that with your friends, right? You're probably charming. You're probably like super hilarious. You're probably cool and calm and confident because you're not sitting there talking to your friend thinking, does he like me? Does my hair look stupid? Can he tell I'm nervous? So if you talk to these girls like you talk to your friends, they're going to be able to see you like your friends see you, which is cool enough to hang out with. Here's the thing, because us women are able to experience our emotions better within a given moment, whatever you feel in that moment, we're going to feel too. So if you come up to us and feel nervous, like, I don't know if I should be talking to her, we're going to be sitting over here being like, I don't know if this guy should be talking to me. But when you're with your friends, you don't have a care in the world, you feel fine, you feel cool, you feel really awesome. Then guess what? She's going to feel really awesome about you too. And number 5, we don't feel a thing when you talk about your things. I remember one time I was at a club in downtown LA and this guy in a 3-piece suit comes up to me and says, you look like the type of girl who would love a vacation in Paris. And I was like, yeah, sure, I love Paris. And then he goes, I bet you really would love my yacht too. And I was like, I don't know, I get seasick. Here's the thing, women cannot connect to things. If you talk about your cars or the amount of us and vacations you've been to, or even your job, the weather, where you're from, we can't feel an emotional investment into those things. But we can feel an emotional investment in you. So talk about your experiences on your boat. Maybe the last time you were out to sea, you found a dead body. Or maybe the last time you were in Paris, you got really drunk on a bottle of champagne and made out with a homeless woman. Either way, you want to talk about your human experiences that are going to make her think, oh my God, I've done something like that too. I could totally connect with this guy. Because we're not going to feel a thing if you only talk about your things. But we can feel something for you.
All right, we're back. Jay, I've already seen the video, but this is your first time actually seeing it and listening to it. So, give me your immediate thoughts about her, quote unquote, 5 things that she wished that.
I enjoyed the video. I found it humorous. First of all, she's absolutely adorable, and I mean that both physically and her enthusiasm when it comes to the rules of engagement in the dating world, and how she feels like these rules will just apply and the magic will happen.
Well, I don't think she look at it as rules. I think she looks at it as more like, are these
suggestions?
Yeah, like these are things that.
Okay, I misspoke.
You know, like I think
I'm giving you tidbits of information that can help you along. I misspoke.
Yeah,
I still think it's adorable because I don't think 4 of those are going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially the one that made my eyeballs twitch a little bit was talk to her like you talk to your friends. I have a rapport with my friends. I've known you since I probably just stopped wearing underwear that didn't have cartoons on them. Herb, I've known you a long time, so my rapport with you is going to be different other than that of someone I just met who I'm attracted to. We're naturally going to be nervous. I'm naturally going to be awkward for the most part because I don't know you, and vice versa. So I don't think she's completely wrong about that. It's just I could never see myself doing that. If you do meet someone where you click and you have chemistry, that comes from conversation where, oh, okay, she likes anime. Boom, she likes action movies. Oh, she's a Will Smith fan. Those are going to be things that are going to slowly chip away the ice. But if she's a stone cold wall, which most attractive women that I've met have been, judge your mom, I'm not going to be able to strike that instant rapport with her off the bat. Like, hey, I've known you since 2 minutes ago. It's not going to happen. And what she was saying about how, gosh, there's so many things. How they're just as nervous as we are, and how we compare. I don't feel that way. And then she's saying that you can't say and spout things or your job and impress women. But from what I'm understanding, what I'm experiencing, it's the exact opposite.
Right.
Because when I get on these profiles, and I'm generally looking at your profile, reading your profile. Oh, she's in the art, she's in the music, she likes wine. I'm going to ask you what kind of wine. I'm reading your profile to find out about you, and you're immediately questioning me like I'm trying to get hired by you. Where do you live at? Where do you drive? What's your profession? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm asking you, what kind of wine do you like? What's your favorite Will Smith movie? Okay, you said you're a sneakerhead. What's your favorite kind of sneaker? I got a homie sneaker. I'm trying to find out about you, and you're trying to place me in a government job. So these are her suggestions, and I can't dispute them. I just don't think that they're going to work for me in any regard. And then she's a very attractive, was she Asian?
It's like she's mixed.
Yeah.
She's like, maybe
Asian or Latino, adorable woman.
Yeah.
And the rules of engagement when you're dating sisters, don't come at me, I'm just speaking my truth, is different, especially nowadays. So I can't come at you like I come at a white Becky girl or as an Asian girl or a Latino girl, because the rules of engagement across cultures it's just different.
I think I want to start from, because I do think what she says, her 5 points in theory are good. I think in practice, I think that it's very different, and I think also in that it's a good thing. What she's saying makes sense if you are an honest woman that is just generally looking to meet somebody.
Right.
I want to start back from the first thing that she had mentioned, at least the main point that popped out at me, was the thing of women will, if they like you more, what was the shit? If they like you more, they're less likely to put out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Oh God.
That.
Yeah.
When Herb showed me that, or talked about that,
we talked about it a while ago.
It was a while ago, and
yeah.
I really thought that wasn't true. And then through my own experiences, and then other women, mind you, women that have confessed to that, I found to be astoundingly stupid. So the guy that you're feeling that's respectable to you, that likes you, that cares for you, you're less likely to engage him physically. But the guy who finds you disposable, who is from the door not treating you with respect, you are all speeds ahead going to engage him physically? Are you mad? I just don't understand. It's like, okay, I'm in the lunchroom and two lunch ladies are working and one's washing raw meat and the other one has on gloves and hand sanitizer. Which one of them do I want them to hand me some gummy bears?
Right.
I don't understand it. I like a little salmon. They're like, hey, bloody hands, hand me those gummy bears. It makes no sense. And the logic that was explained to me for women still makes no sense. Well, he's just a jump off, blah, blah, blah. But he's going to drag your name through the mud. In one hand, you telling me that you value yourself, you're a queen, and your body's a temple. But you're going to give the yams to someone who's blatantly going to disrespect you.
Right.
Huh?
I mean, and it's true.
I'm confused.
And the sad thing is, it's true because we've had women tell us, well, because it's just sex, it's nothing serious, then I'm not going to get invested. So yeah, I'm okay with that. But if it's somebody that I'm interested in or someone that I like, then I'm going to be more difficult, play hard to get, and expect that person to chase us. And I think it's comical when she said, and you better not stop chasing us either.
That part, I was like,
I'm like, what? So you want us?
So you're giving me no indication that our discussions, our interactions are leading to us getting better. I'm in a similar situation. I've been talking to a girl for a while, and I thought she was cool, and everything was great the first couple of weeks, and then nothing. And then when I randomly get bored and call her, she's asking me, "Why you haven't reached out?" I'm surprised you're so inclined to call me. Her actual words, so inclined to call me. Because nothing on your side of the bench is saying you was feeling me anymore.
Right.
So why am I going to keep pursuing it?
Yeah, her exact
words.
words.
It's like trying to get Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. It ain't going to happen, bro.
Her exact words is, we won't put out so fast when we really like you. So yeah, I thought that was just like, wait, what? Like, how does that make sense? Like, I mean, I understand it, but I think it's just not a good way to approach it. But who am I to tell a woman how to deal with men? But
I mean, listen.
To me, I think it just doesn't make sense.
This show is not about changing women's minds. This show is not about changing the way you conduct yourself. This show is to illustrate or discuss how men go through the paces and go through these changes with you, and to shed some light on things that you do that we do not understand. I am not calling you an idiot. I am saying you are moving like an idiot because we do not understand the logic in what you're saying. A man that you know is going to disrespect you after he gets the yams. He's going to brag about to his friends, no matter what age bracket he's in. He's not going to call you. You know that, so you give him the yanni automatically. A dude that's going to respect you, that is an honorable man, has to wait and wait and wait. It is your discretion, but that does not mean you have to understand it. It makes no sense to me.
And I think, and I'm going to say this, and then I want to go on to another point of hers that she made, which is, I want to say, as far as men are concerned, I think what we need to do is understand and navigate that differently, in the sense that just because you're nice doesn't mean that you should be treated any different than anybody else.
True.
So I think what my little tidbit of advice when it comes to men, when it comes to that, is, don't allow yourself to be put in that situation. On the one hand, yes, you want a woman that's respectable, that's not just going to... Because when a woman does give it up kind of easy, there's some brothers that's like, well, why? She's easy. If she was able to give it up that quickly, maybe she's like that with everybody. And I get that. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's about vibe and connection, and sometimes things just happen naturally. So I think, but when you see a woman that's pulling back intentionally, you have to kind of judge and say, okay, is this worth continuing? Because I don't know where this is going to go. And you kind of got to make a judgment call to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a situation where you're spending all this time and investing in her, but then once the date is over, she calling Pookie and Ray Ray right after the date is over to blow her back out, and then she's waiting until she decides, well, you know what, this guy is kind of sort of worth it, so I might decide to put Pookie and Ray Ray on the shelf for a little while. and see where this goes. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fine line. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So I think I logically I sort of get it, but I also think it's dumb, especially when you're talking about trying to find a good man in a relationship and things like that. If that's what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So,
and let me be clear. I'm not saying that I'm going to agree with my brother that a man is owed anything based on his behavior, based on the interactions of a date, a first outing, second outing, no matter how many hours. I'm not saying he's owed anything. I'm not one of them dudes that think you automatically owe him something because he did something nice to you. But my thing is, if the gift is going to be given, and you're deciding between
Pookie and Ray Ray,
exactly, between an imbecile, an obvious imbecile that you happen to be attracted to, I've already tapped out on that fight. That you're definitely attracted to imbeciles, and someone that you're also attracted to who's not an imbecile, who fits the criteria, no matter how ridiculous some of them are, somewhat. Why do you give it to the dude who's going to disrespect you? I don't understand that, and no one has been able to completely explain that to me. You haven't. Mm-hmm. You haven't. And it's always the ones that claim to be so strong and so independent and blah blah. But you're giving your yams away to someone that's an idiot. And I've even heard, when you know, and you know this is just pissing me off. Her when you know through your research he is an awful person. You know he is, and you still call him Unc the next day.
Yeah. I mean,
but then y'all want to spout that y'all smarter than us in every single scenario.
I've heard the reasoning, and to me, it's dumb, but it is what it is. Now, one of the other points that she kind of brought out was, this was like her third point, which is being quiet doesn't mean we're not into you. Mm. I completely think that's bullshit, personally, because the one thing experience taught me, and Jay, you tell me if you agree or not, is more often than not, if you're very good at looking at body language, a woman's body language will tell you completely if you have any shot at her or not at all.
I concur.
This whole being quiet thing, the being quiet, if her body language is matching the whole being quiet thing, that means you pretty much have no shot. Nope. That's just from my experience. If she's being quiet, but she's being like, physical or touching or whatever, then it's something different. But the being quiet thing, I think that's bullshit. That has nothing to do with those situations when you're out and about or when you're dating or you're engaging a woman. Body language is more important than anything else. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. What was you about to say?
I'm agreeing with you. And my friends will back me up. It frustrates my friends. It has always frustrated my friends, especially my oldest friends. I am absolutely clueless when a woman's attracted to me. I have no clue. Herb can back. She can be giving me every signal in the world. This is ever since high school. Herb says she digs you. No, she doesn't. She can be giving me every signal in the world, and I still will not see. I'm still the same way in my 40s because I don't want to assume something is there when it's not. Now, when a woman doesn't like me, I am very good at detecting that. I pick up on that vibe right away, and I immediately cease and desist all communication, all interactions. I'm good. I'm not that dude that says, I'm just going to keep trying harder to make her like me. No.
And
no, I know I will stop at that. I will stop in the middle of the date. I have paid the check, like, it's been real, and I'm out.
And I know there's some dudes out there that and some within our circle, that they're aggressive. They like the challenge. They sit there and look at it like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get her to look at me differently. And I'm not saying that those tactics do not work. But you have to kind of understand and be able to gauge and read the situation and know when that aggressiveness is worth your time and when that aggressiveness is just you embarrassing yourself. You know what I mean? And when she said that, I was just like, no, that's not true. That only applies to a very small number of women, because I think those women are like that. Those are the shy and quiet ones and things like that. And I think those women typically that get quiet that way, they're usually like that because they don't have as much experience when it comes with men, or they've only used to dealing with a certain type of men, or whatever the case may be. I truly believe that, if anything, more than quietness, us as men, we need to learn body language. Body language tells more than if a woman is talking or being quiet. A woman could just talk to you just being polite. A woman could just be quiet because she's just being polite. That's not clear indicators of, what, if that woman is into you or not. I don't think I get where she's coming from with that, but that's good in theory, but in practice, no, that does not work.
It doesn't work for us
at all.
I don't like spouting out, concrete rules. It has never worked for me. I've never been the dude that when I was talking to someone and trying to get to know her, trying to get close to her, when she got quiet and shut down, that made me think, oh, she's definitely into me now. Yeah. Because the women I date are usually vocal, expressive, confident women. So if she's not speaking, if she's not interacting, she's not engaging me, I have no choice but to think that her energy is changed and that she's not feeling me, which is within her right, but I'm not going to keep going.
Right.
I'm not. Right. I'm not going to keep fighting an uphill battle because as valuable as her time is, guess what? So's mine. I don't subscribe to the only philosophy that the only person's value in this interaction is the woman's time. I don't subscribe. No.
Oh yeah. So
no.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because one thing that I'm very a stickler on is my time, and that because I really feel as though that in past experience, at least for me, what I found is that some women, not all, we'll make sure we say not all, because we're not, as I say all time and time again on the show, we're not the all police. However, I do feel as though that sometimes women tend to think that their time is more valuable than men's. And I think that's us as men, we have to really make sure that we emphasize that, hey, our time is equally as important as yours. So, and when you feel like that particular person is wasting it, then you gotta dead that immediately. You gotta dead that immediately. So that's something I'm very, very big on and strong on. So, now I want to get into, this is probably gonna be the last point we get into, which is the one that kind of annoyed you from the rip, which was, she said, just talk to us like we are buddies already. That was so cute. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm.
That is when she became especially adorable, in my opinion. I'm like, oh, you're so cute.
You're so cute.
And her energy from the video, to me, would be like a woman that you meet or see out and about at a club or at a cafe or something. That even though she's very attractive, she is actually approachable. She is actually a good person. And a lot of times when someone's very attractive, you're not sure if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't just roll up and say, hey, how you doing? My name is Jay. I saw you from across the room. I thought I'd come over and introduce myself. You might get your hair ripped off.
Bro, that's dead. You can't do that anymore.
You know what I mean? You might get your hair ripped off.
It is very seldomly that a woman actually responds to that in a positive way. I get what she's saying, but again, there's theory and then there's practice. In practice, when you're out and about, this is why I think online dating has become more popular. And then when you're out and about in the club or a bar, I mean, God knows when that's going to happen with COVID, but I mean, when you're out
November 8th, after Serpentor loses,
we'll see. But when you're out and about, you know what I mean? You never, especially when you're trying to approach a woman that's with a group of other women, bruh, because not only she's looking at you, but her homie's looking at you. The chick is probably is judging you. Then the homies is judging you. So even if the chick finds you attractive, if her homies don't find you attractive, that can go left. There's so many things that can go wrong in doing that. And I would definitely say always approach a woman with confidence. Always act as though you're confident in what you're saying and in what you're doing, even if it's the corniest fucking thing ever. But the reality is that most women don't want to be talked to like they're your buddy, because you know what's going to happen? They're going to make you you're going to end up being their buddy. That's simple. AKA the friend zone.
But Herb, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, right. We already established it exists.
And neither does racism.
We already established.
So the financial gap between black people and white people, none of this exists.
Nah, it's just like.
Or daddies in the projects.
Yeah, that's primarily what's wrong with what she's saying, because if you're approaching women that way, They're good. The days of women responding to that in a positive way, they're gone. They're not. They're gone. They're just not. It doesn't work. You know, if you act like that, they're going to treat you. Oh, he's such a nice guy. He's such a great friend. Mm-hmm. That you're establishing that rule very early on, like real early, and that's not what you want to do at all. So, though what she's saying is cute, and maybe it might work for her, but for the majority of women, you do not want to come up to them and talk to them like that's your homie, because you're never getting out of that box at all.
Right?
Never. You're stuck. You already put yourself in there before things can even proceed any further. So that's not what you want to do at all. So I mean, it's cute. It's a good sentiment, but I don't think in practice that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, I just don't. You know,
it's adorable and good in theory, but no.
And I appreciate her saying it because I think, you know, it's a good tactic to make us comfortable, approaching women. But I think at the same token, that's not going to make the situation any better. No. And the last thing, actually, I do want to touch on the last thing she said real quick, which was, we don't feel a thing for your things.
And again, correct me if I'm
cute.
wrong.
That's cute.
I feel like that's a culture thing. That's a culture thing. That can be a nationality thing. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of different factors. You can't approach every woman of every nationality exactly the same. They have different wants, different needs, different expectations. You can't.
So here's my thing when it comes to that. I personally don't think it's a cultural thing. I think there's an element of that in every race and every culture. I think, but the difference is, in some races and cultures, it's more emphasized than others. I think, but generally speaking, I think most women today, they care about what you have and what you don't have. They care about how much money you make. They care about what you drive. Because a lot of women now are looking for what you can do for them. I'm not saying all like that, because they're not all like that. But unfortunately, let's just take the dating sites in general. Most women when they get on the dating sites, they're not looking at your appearance. They're looking at what you do and what you have. Your appearance gives them an idea of what you have and what you're doing with yourself. So it's not the same as men. We're looking at a woman. We're looking at the curves, looking at how she looks. We're looking to see, is she attractive or not? Is she big? Is she fat? Is she small? Whatever. That's what we're looking at. But a lot of women, when they're looking at profiles, they're more so reading than we are. And they're also looking to see, what you are, who you are, what you have. I've heard some women say, listen, if a man doesn't have in his profile that he has a college degree, I'm not going to talk to him. I've heard this.
I'm definitely over the feeling that if a person has not achieved academic excellence, if they don't have their master's, their doctorate, if they haven't achieved a certain level of income, then that person you're meeting is beneath you. And don't be taken back on me saying that, because a lot of you subscribe to the philosophy that dating someone that doesn't have these things when you do means you're dating down.
Ooh,
and if you're dating down, that means you think the person is beneath you. So what if you meet a man that has his doctor's degree, that has a great job, and all of a sudden that company folds, and now he drives trucks for a living? I'm speaking from someone that I know independently. Does his wife now view him as below him now? Because he has those things. He worked in the industry, but now he does exactly what your boy does. And now he makes exactly the amount of money that your boy does. Some of us make more, some of us less. But is he beneath you now? Because he's not utilizing that degree anymore. He doesn't have that cushy white job. He's a blue-collar Joe right now. But he's actually finding it easier and more economical to work in this industry than he did in the corporate industry. He's below you now. You should divorce him, right? You see how fucked up that sounds?
And we're actually...
It infuriates me. It infuriates me to have people say that to another human being. Yeah. Beneath you? Because you passed?
And that's actually going to be the next show.
Oh, it infuriates me.
Yeah, that actually
the audacity of saying that.
Yeah, so I mean,
wow.
I think in the context of this video, and we're going to address that in the next episode, because the next episode, there was I ran in researching previous shows, I had ran across an actual article and a video talking about dating down, and some of the statistics that go along with it. So that's going to be the next video that we discuss. We're actually going to do a reaction to. But yeah, to that being said, it's what she's saying is cute, but it's not true.
No,
it's not true. However, I will say this in her defense. I think, fellas, we need to understand that if you are in a good place financially, if you are successful, do not allow these things to be a substitute for who you are. Don't let these things define you. Don't feel as though in order for you to get a quality woman, you absolutely have to have these things. You know what I mean? Because what we tend to do as men, sometimes we go too far to the left with it and feel as though, all right, well, we not shit to women unless we have these things.
Yep.
Or
unless we have these things, unless we're a certain height, a certain build, make a certain amount of money, live in a certain neighborhood, drive a certain car. That can drive you insane, and it diminishes your self-worth, which is the most important thing to you should be how you view yourself. And we as men don't examine that. We spend way too much time on machismo bullshit than examining how do you feel as a person yourself. Before you even meet her, how do you feel about yourself? Because if you don't have confidence in yourself, she's going to eat you alive when you start talking to her.
Yeah, I think we allow too many things to define us as men, especially to some degree women. Not all women, but there's too many times when we hear women say a real man does this, or a real man should have that.
For the record, can I say that almost no wisdom has ever come when the words "a real man should do" precedes those words? Almost no wisdom. The same way if I curl my lips to say, a real woman would, I don't do that. Because all of you are unique, all you are different for the most part when you come down to the core. Now, you may have similar behaviors, but I don't know you yet. So I don't know what kind of woman you are. I don't know how you move, how you react to things. I don't know you until you start talking and interacting with me. So it'd be stupid for me to make an assumption about you just because you were born a woman. And yet y'all curl your lips all the time to say every single man, living or dead, should do this. I have spoken.
Right.
And then when we argue with it, you look at us like crazy because you don't know us all.
Right.
I just read something on Facebook that said, why are all black men emotionless except when they're mad? I'm sorry, have you met us all?
But see, here's the flip side of that. If we show emotion for some women, now we're punks. Yep. We're pussies. Yep. We're weak.
Automatically.
So I mean, it's a catch-22. It really is. It's a catch-22 with that. But I will say, like I said, I don't agree. I overall with the video, I get where she's coming from. I actually think it's a cool video. She's a little silly for me, but I think the video itself is a cool video. I think the points that she's making are sort of good, but I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of those points don't fully apply. I think it applies only if you're talking about a few select type of women that are really just looking to genuinely meet someone, and they're not really having those other underlying things going on in their mind when it comes to this, if the man has the sixes and everything else. So, I mean, that's just my opinion about it. I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to add the full video in the description so you guys can take a look at the full video. It's only about 7 minutes long.
Sorry for you.
Sorry for you. Nah, bro. Hey, it is what it is.
No, it just pisses me off when I hear that, man. But we'll get into that next topic.
So I think that's it for this reaction video. We're going to do about 2 more, I think. But I'm going to try different formats on how to do it, because being as though this is kind of new for me when it comes to editing, we're going to see which way works the best. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have as far as this one. Again, this video was by a podcaster by the name of Jessica J. Just look up Jessica J on YouTube.
We'll post a link below.
Yeah, we'll put it on the link. Yeah,
if it's possible.
Oh, well, I'll put it in there. I'll put it for when I edit on YouTube. I'll add it on there, and then in the podcast description, I'll put the link for this particular video also on here as well in case you guys want to hear. I mean, I pretty much played the whole thing. I'm going to edit it and put most of it on there. I'll chop it up a bit just to get rid of the unnecessary stuff. But yeah, if you want the whole thing in its entirety, and then just also check out our page, by all means, go ahead. So, Jay, you got anything else to add, or we're pretty much done here?
Just go forth from now on the way you move. Just you can't put advice on everything. Everything is different. Dynamics are different. Although that video was absolutely adorable, I just don't agree with what she is saying in its entirety because most of that's not going to work with sisters. No.
Unfortunately.
And I love sisters, but it's not going to work. No.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, all right, I'm good. On that note, again, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on various other podcasting outlets as well as YouTube. Usually they're probably going to be on those podcasting outlets first before YouTube. So if you want to hear it first on there, you can. So that's about it. I am Herb.
This is Jay.
We out.